In actual sense, there is no recorded history of Moses' existence. Rather, they copied the story of Pharaoh Akhenaten. If Moses did not exist, what then were they telling us about Moses? That is what we want to find out. Why did Moses come down with a 10 commandment? What is that 10 commandment? Now listen to the 10 commandments. Exodus 3 from verse 1. He said, now Moses kept the flock of Jethro, his father-in-law, the priest of Midian, and he led the flock to the backside of the desert. Point number 1, desert. The word desert in this statement is a code word. Verse 2, and the angel of the Lord appeared unto him in a flame of fire out of the midst of a bush. And the bush burned with fire, and the bush was not consumed. We read this storyline. We thought it was an actual story. We started singing with it in several forms. Ibu chimo, ibu chim, ibu anyanji afuzo. Ewata. Aya nwuloku ma iye lelele. Ogini kangeji toro gozorogi. Agama kwisi ana agoya mba nche na meluge n'igwe. I am trying to explain ahihia nwuloku mana ahihia lelele. Listen to this. So if Moses is not a human being, is not an actual person, what was Moses? And the angel of the Lord appeared unto him in a flame of fire. A flame of fire. Now, Moses was in the wilderness. What is wilderness? What is that desert? Now, for science students, how can a bush survive inside a desert? Unless it is at the tentacles where oasis is. But try and get it now. You will get the gist. Moses was in the wilderness. The word wilderness is an allegory to mean Moses was in a state of confusion. And I will explain why wilderness is confusion. If you go inside the desert, you cannot tell where is your north, south, east, or west. True or false? If you go inside the desert, it takes an experienced navigator to know where his north, south, east, or west is. So, Moses is inside the wilderness, no compass, meaning Moses is in a state of confusion. Confused Gadema, Nobulu Moses. Now, and Moses saw a burning bush. Let me ignore what the burning bush is talking about. But when Moses was confused, in his meditation, he was lifted to see a burning bush, a cosmic fire. At the end of the day, the cosmic fire, Moses asked the cosmic fire, what is your name? Let me say it in Hebrew. He said, Eya, Esha, Eye. I am that I am. That is what we are told it was translated. In the actual translation, Eya, Esha, Eye is actually, I would be whatsoever I want to be. Abu mi hembo, diche from Ihob Nancholebo Kamgabo. Now, when he had that, at the end of the story, take it fast forward to Exodus 20. It is what it is. Whatsoever you make of this reality, that is what it becomes. And that it is what it is gave Moses a constant 10 commandments. Now, the storyline is just introduction. I'm only interested at the 10 commandments. That 10 is a figure, an allegory encoded. Yes, the 10 commandments, thou shalt not kill, has been in existence at least 2,500 years before the story of Akhenaten. How? Because your 10 commandment has already been existing before the person who they copied the story of Moses was born. It was in the 42 principles of Ma'at. Now, why did they use the word 10 commandment if that commandment has been in existence? It is because of the number 1 and the 0. Listen, Moses being given the 10 commandments by this fire is because the 10 is a code which we are about to explain. The 10 commandments, thou shalt not kill, has been in existence at least 2,500 years before the story of Akhenaten. How? Because your 10 commandment has already been existing before the person who they copied the story of Moses was born. It was in the 42 principles of Ma'at. Now, why did they use the word 10 commandment if that commandment has been in existence? It is because of the number 1 and the 0. Listen, Moses being given the 10 commandments by this fire is because the 10 is a code which we are about to explain. What was Moses given? The 10 Commandments. For you to know it was actually not a storyline. How could Moses come down with a 10 Commandments? And the commandment says, thou shalt not kill. And the first thing Moses did was to tell the Levite to kill 3,000 persons, which means it wasn't about a commandment. It was about a mystery. What was that 10 Commandments? In cosmic understanding and the understanding, 10 is the number that controls every reality in this simulation. 10. What is 10? 1 and 0. The two constants of binary. Is it making sense to you now? 10 Commandments is not about thou shalt not kill. In this 10, what you saw in the burning bush, in the cosmic dome of Agu, is telling you that you can create virtually everything if you understand this binary. 1 and 0. Everything we've been learning is an allegory, not an actual storyline. Galatians 4:24. For all this is an allegory. Get that into your head. Meaning, if all they are telling us is about the Helios, the sun, every connection must connect it down to the sun. Everything in this book is telling you about the sun. When Moses met the burning bush, if a sun is shining, how does it look? Doesn't it look like fire? So Moses met the great sun, and the sun told Moses that the plane of all reality is encoded in 1 and 0. He gave Moses the 10 Commandments, the binary of all creation. Now, Moses came down and is trying to tell people of all this binary, what we can do. That what we are looking for is to look up to the greater sun. Listen to this. Again, they began to twat our brain until they told us that it is called the tetragrammaton. Because if you want to lie to a black man, give him a language he will not understand. Now, what is the tetragrammaton? I've said it on TikTok the other day, that the tetragrammaton is nothing but a deity of ancient Kemet, which is called Aton. Aton, a sun deity. Everything will come down to the sun. Just be listening to everything I'm saying today. It will bounce back to the sun. Anyang, Helios, Biblio, book of the sun. Helios, book of the sun. Aton, the sun deity. Now, what is tetragrammaton? I will show you. When they gave us the tetragrammaton, they told us that this is the sound of its name, Yod He Wad He, separating into two entities. We took it and accepted, thinking it's talking about somebody like a man directing the affairs of the world. But it's actually telling you about the cosmic sun. The tetragrammaton, how do we know it is talking about the deity of the sun? Let us separate it in etymology. Tetra, grammar, aton. For those who did science, you will remember that tetra means 4. In chemistry, once you say tetraoxo, it means 4 moles of oxygen. Listen, in this tetraoxo, you now know that the word tetra means 4. But they tell you tetragramma aton. What is grammar? Since we found what is tetra. Tetra is 4. Grammar is spoken word. Ndi Igbo na-asụ grammar. Spoken word. Tetragramma. Spoken word. Aton. A-T-O-N. Check it in your search engine. Spoken word of the deity of the sun. Tetragrammaton, meaning represent the deity of the sun in 4 syllables. Represent the deity of the sun in 4 syllables. Tetragrammaton. Why am I saying this? As a Jewish student, I was thinking that once I hear tetragrammaton, they told us it is the holiest name of God on earth. Not knowing if I na achọba anyanwụ ndị nna anyị ochie nwa akwanyelu ugwu eri mgbe maka na ndị Igbo nwere ọra na-edozi anyanwụ since ụwa. Now, if the tetragrammaton is pointing to the sun, Helios pointing to the sun, who then is the son of God?